We have our very first spooky season leaning palette in the Calavera palette by Gourmande Girls. This one is a colorful fantasy. Hello, my gorgeous ones. Welcome to Alicia Budget Beauty. My name is Alicia. Here on my channel, I love all things affordable fashion, beauty, and fragrance. I do hauls, tutorials, reviews, dedicated eyeshadow palette videos, all sorts of fun stuff. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe, stick around, be a friend. Okay, you guys, I have a little skull love sweater going on here in honor of this video and the palette by Gourmande Girls, the Calavera palette. Now, Calavera is specifically a skull that you would see used for Day of the Dead. So it's gonna have like the flower design. Sometimes they're like mosaics, things like that is what Calavera means. And they often symbolize just a reflection of life and death and honoring those that have passed before. And this palette was actually inspired, I believe, by Christina, the Gourmande Girl owner, of her grandparents, which is super, super, super sweet. She does that sometimes. She has, palettes that have a lot of meaning to her, and names in it will have to do with someone that inspired the palette or contributed in some sort of way. So I think that's really, really sweet. But let's go ahead and open her up. You guys, we have a very colorful palette here. This completely, to me, when I see this, it represents the Calaveras that I always see. I mean, look at the front here. It's basically what you see inside here. It's festive, it's bright, it's full of life, and some death as well with some of the deeper, darker shades. So I think as far as nailing a theme, it absolutely does. Now, even though this is really colorful, I wouldn't call this a rainbow palette. So I don't think someone would open this and be like, oh, another rainbow palette. This isn't a rainbow palette to me. Actually, what I see here is, if I'm just looking primarily at these rows here, with the exception of this, I'm seeing some kind of pastel-y shades. And then if I look at kind of just these two rows, you get a lot of depth and the dark vibes. This middle row is a little bit of kind of an outlier, but some of your more sort of mid-tones, but then you have like a neon in here as well. So you get a lot of, what you don't get are neutrals. Neutral lovers and color haters, this is probably not gonna be for you. But if you like to dabble in color, but you like deeper, darker, you could go with these. If you like some pastels, you have in here, but your pops of neon, there's a ton you can do with this palette. Honestly, that's the only kind of thing that I'm like, oh my gosh, like how do I do a video for you guys and do this palette justice? Because there's a million different combos you could do here. You could go real deep with the pop of neon, which I think is always really fun. You could go pastel-y grunge even. You could stick to just the brights and do sort of a neon look. I mean, there's so much that you can do. The other thing I was grappling with here is I'm like, oh, I felt pressure. Like I need to do something really creative for you guys. Like I need to do something like this, like try my hand at real creative. But then it kind of hit me, why? Like there are people who are really, really talented at that. I'm going to leave those people to do those type of looks. What I think I contribute myself, my style, my content is I like to show how an everyday person who's good at their makeup, but they aren't maybe a pro, how they could use a palette like this. It's really colorful. Like how do you come up with a really pretty glam look using a very colorful palette? That's my forte. And I have to get out of that mindset that I've got to do something over the top and extraordinary. So I'm actually, not going to do that. What I'm going to do is try to create 4 looks for you guys. At least. Maybe I'll get a 5th one in there. So before I get into that, I do want to pop in just the special shades, because I can't really, you can't tell by me showing you like this. Like you need to actually see a few swatches here. Lately I haven't been really swatching mattes because a lot of times it's what you see is what you get, you know, but with shimmers, you can look in the pan and think it looks one way, and then swatched out on the eyeball, it's a totally different color. So I'm showing those off. The shade that like absolutely has my like eyeballs drooling is this one right here. It is this marbly shade. I don't even know if you guys can tell. There we go. But this one is called Ofrenda, the Ofrenda. I think that is the offering like mount where they bring like the offerings, the candles and little trinkets and things. I think that's the Ofrenda, I think. But that shade looks absolutely gorgeous to me. The other shimmers, there's one that's flaky. That one is Illuminación, is the flaky shimmer. And then you have some more metallic-y smooth shimmers in Fuego, Unity, and Calacas. It's kind of hard to see. The font in here is kind of hard for my aging eyes to see. So anyway, point is it looks pretty. So let's go ahead and dig into my first two looks. All right, so I wanted to do a look with nothing on my eyes and do like whatever shape came about, but to be honest, I had other things I had to film before this that I didn't want to have two different eye looks. So I had to have some sort of makeup on for those. So I left off wings, so maybe I can do something, we'll see. But I am going to start with Tradition, which is the shade right here that probably looks like the most neutral leaning in the palette, but I did swatch this one just kind of on my hand earlier to make sure. And it is kind of a burgundy brown. It's a warm burgundy brown. I'm not even sure what the actual name for this shade would be. It's really, really pretty, but it is not a straight true brown because there are no neutrals in this palette. But, you know, also if you're, you know, just a neutral person, but you do think like, man, I wish there were neutrals in there, but it's pretty. I'm making sure I don't get my white. Okay. In the palette, but you could always get one of your neutral palettes and have this be a companion palette, you know? You don't have to have them all in one palette. I know a lot of people like a one and done in their palettes, but you can combine your palettes. Okay, next I think I am going to go in with Marigold, yellow. And I'm gonna pop that right here. Ooh, you know, I really like this color combo here because I've always liked a sort of burgundy with a mustard, or like a burgundy brown with a mustard shade, and an orange, which I'm about to grab the orange. But oh yeah, I just think it's such a yummy color combo that people might be a little afraid of or not think to do, but you should do it. I'm not gonna attempt to say this word. I have no idea what this says. And a lot of times I can sound something out. I don't know what this says. Like I said, the font is a little hard for my eyes, and it's also a really long word that I've never seen before. And I know quite a bit of Spanish, and not all of these are Spanish words, but I have no idea what this says. So look at how pretty that is. It is like a 70s rainbow. That is so pretty. Those shades are beautiful. And that's fall. That is fall foliage. I could just walk away right now. I could put a shimmer and just walk away right now. That is so pretty. I don't want to mess it up. That's too pretty. I thought about, you know what? Okay, hope this doesn't mess it up. Please don't mess it up. I'm gonna take a little bit of that same orange out here. Okay, yeah, actually, love that. Love that. Those blended together so beautifully too. Okay, love how that looks. And I kind of want to keep this simple. I don't even think I'm going to do anything on the lower lash line because I love how just kind of bright and open this looks. So I'm gonna take, what is this called? Oh, Illumination. This is the Flaky Flakes. I don't want this to, okay, I don't want the flakes to fall. So I'm gonna kind of just tap lightly. Look how pretty that is. What's cool about this formula that I noticed even when I was swatching is you can tap and kind of keep it this 3D texture where it almost looks like you took like sponge paint, you know? Or you can really press down and keep going back over it, and it takes away that texture and it just makes it really smooth. But I think I wanna leave it kind of textured. It actually, this look kind of taking me back. It reminds me of doing a fall art project as a kid with like sponges in the shape of leaves and having the pretty colors. You guys, that is so pretty. Whoa, whoa. Okay, I do want to do an inner corner though. So the red is going to be, I don't know. I'm gonna actually, okay, so I'm gonna go in with the Illumination, the one that's the flakies, but I'm just taking, I don't care that I'm messing up my palette a little bit right here. You see how that's that shade smushed down. So I'm just gonna take it and like smush it into this brush so that it's not chunky. And we're gonna pop that in the inner corner and get this sort of fiery inner corner. Okay, so that is the first look. I think that it's super, super, super pretty. I hope it's not too bright where you can't see that inner corner, but I can when I am looking here in my palette and it's this bright beautifulness. Okay, like I said, typically I would do a lower lap. I'm just feeling how flared this looks with this being bare. So I'm gonna leave it. Very different for me, but that's what we're doing. Okay, now on this eye, I want to go darker into the reds, I think, because yes, it's different than this eye, but it won't look totally too crazy. So I'm gonna go in with Morete. It's black. Obviously, I love that there's a black in here. Muerte and Sugar is the white matte because that way you can, oh, this is opaque. Dang, I should have known because Gourmande Girls often has a black in the palettes. And I think she does that because she knows, doing her makeup herself, how helpful it is to have a black. You can use it for liner. You can use it to deepen up a shade. And then if you have the white, you can lighten anything up. So anyone that might be like, oh, I wish there was a little more gradient of like light to deep to dark, that's what the black and the white are for. You can use those to customize that yourself. But that is super opaque. If you want an opaque black, you got it with this palette for sure. Okay, so I'm feeling inspired. I think what I'm gonna do is take Comparsa, the pink shade, and I'm gonna pop that one right here. This would be a fun, if you just went with these colors, these two, a fun pink and black look. That's a combo that I forget to do that I really like. Anytime I see someone else do a pink and black look, I'm like, why don't I ever do that? So they said there's so many combinations you could do in this palette. Tons. Okay, now I'm going in with Sangre, blood red. All the names make sense with the shades too. Christina's good about that. Like sometimes some brands, you can tell they put in a lot of thought, they're clever, and then other brands, you just kind of think, did they think about this? Like, I can't think of one right off the top of my head, but I know there was one not that long ago. And I don't remember what the shade was, what color it was, and what the name was, but I'm just gonna give an example. It would be like if there was a red shade in there and they called it Snow, and then there was a white shade in there and they called it Blood. It was a palette that was like that. I just thought, that's lazy. That's just flat out lazy. But Christina's definitely not lazy. But I love how, see those blended together? It gives this really beautiful gradient, and you can't even really tell that that was red because it's blended into the pink and you've got some of the black. And that's what is so great about having a black in a palette. These mattes are slaying me, genuinely. They are really, 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 really good. Okay, I love that. So I'm gonna take Candle, which is really pretty. It's a black matte with sparkles, and it is a very pigmented as well. Why did I use my finger? I knew this wasn't a shimmer. I wasn't even thinking. I saw sparkles and just like, let me go in with my finger. But hey, it actually works, and it probably is giving me the max opacity using a finger instead of a brush. Okay, maybe I should do that all the time with the matte that has sparkles. So use my finger. But that is really pretty. This palette is banging so far. It really is. Okay, Fuego. It's that gorgeous metallic-y red. Oh my gosh. Woo, child. This is pretty. Oh man. I took my fingernail and scraped it and it put red right there. This, I just did it again. Oh my gosh, stop, Alicia. My nails are longer than they normally are, like my natural nails, and it's like, I don't know how to handle them. Okay. That is really pretty. I think there's a little shift to this one that I didn't realize was there, like kind of a fiery orange. This palette, I already have a feeling is going to be an underrated palette, because I can already predict that some people are going to be thrown by the color story and just not know what to do, and they will miss out. They will miss out. Okay, this is a perfect example of why we want a white. So like I kept, my finger has color, and I kept accidentally putting color and kind of messing up the inner portion. So I'm gonna take the white sugar shade, the white matte, and I'm just gonna kind of correct it. And it also kind of makes that a lighter pink right there, and it'll just work all in together. But I find a white matte is a corrector tool as well. Okay, that looks better now. Love, love, love. All right, again, I'm just gonna keep the lower lash bare on this one. And the inner corner, I think I'm gonna go in with Ofrenda. Now, this one's gotta go on a lid in a look by itself because it has so many shifts to it. You're not gonna get all of the different shades and the magic being just in the corner, but it is a beautiful corner. This is really the most inner corner shade in here. You can use the one that I used over here, but this one, out of all the shades, if you're gonna use a shimmer as an inner corner in this palette, it would be Ofrenda. But you could use a matte. You could use the white. You could use this really pale yellow green as well. But wow, that really pops in the inner corner. Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys, I think that we're done with the first two looks. And again, I could keep going down here, but I'm really, really liking it. This would be really dramatic if I took the black and extended it out on the lower lash line here, but I'm digging this as it is. So we're gonna stop, and I'm excited about this palette. All right, next look number 3. I think I really want to dabble in the greens for this look. So I'm gonna go in, let's do Remembrance right here. It's like a very dark sort of sage green. And I'm gonna put that here on the outside. Ooh, I really like this. I like a kind of like deep gray green. I think it's really, really pretty. I think it's pretty on any eye color too. It really makes green, blue, brown, all of them pop. Okay, next I'm gonna go in with Vida, which is the bright, more neon green. And don't even think that while I was using Remembrance that I wasn't singing Remember Me. When you have to say goodbye, remember me. I'm not a singer. Coco, we love that movie in our house. It's such a good movie. I keep thinking of it just the whole time that I'm using this palette. I'm like, Miguel and La Chancla. If you know, you know. And hello, this green is so pretty. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Digging it, digging it. Those two are so yummy next to each other. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with Earth, this green here. And I hope this works. This isn't my favorite shade of green usually on myself. Oh, good. This is a little bit deeper and cooler toned. It's not like a true green. Like there's almost like a little blue to it instead of being true green, because I just don't think I look good in eyeshadow in like a grass green. I need different tones of green, and then I love green. So, and this is not true green. Yay. Guys, the ease at which these mattes blend together, I'm kind of stunned. Now I know that she changed her formula a while back with mattes. I can't remember which palette, but oh my gosh, they just blend effortlessly, absolutely effortlessly. Okay, for lower lash line, I'm gonna go in with Antonio. And this is like a grayish, I am gonna go lower lash line this time. So this is a grayish purple. Ooh, that is pretty. Honestly, it may be kind of hard to tell since it's just on my lower lash line, but I'm not sure I have this shade. This is a like deep eggplant with a slight grayness to it, but still purple. Like sometimes if there's a gray tone to a shade, it will just basically turn it gray. But this is purple, just a little gray. It is really pretty and really unique. Love it. Okay, and then I think for coming in a little bit further on the lower lash line, I'm gonna go back in with Vida, the lime bright neon, and just kind of frame it. This green is so yummy. I love it. Really, really pretty green. This look is just making the eyes. All right, for shimmer, I think I want to go in, my lighting is crazy. It's like, it's cloudy outside and raining, but for some reason it's really, really bright. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I am going with Ofrenda. So this is the one that was in the inner corner yesterday that I was like, we gotta have this on the lid. And I'm gonna see what oh, fun. That is really, really pretty. It's kind of, this shade is kind of squishy. Now that I'm really getting my finger in it. Oh, so pretty. It has like lavender and like blue, green, sort of like an opal. It's kind of like a lavender opal. I have a feeling this shade, whatever you're laying it next to, it's going to, parts of it are going to contrast the shade, and because it is shifty, and then the other part of it shift is going to pick up the color next to it. So it really, I think, could go with almost anything. That is so pretty. Honestly, it was a little unintentional. Didn't even think about it, but it works so well that we've got this sort of purple eggplant, and then that shimmer on top has that like lavender reflex, so it just picks up that purple on the bottom. Didn't even mean to do that, but it goes together so well. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Okay, I'm gonna go in with Copal. This is that sort of like a really light key lime pie. And I just want to do a matte ever so lighter than what it already is. I just think this is so pretty on top that we're just gonna leave, ooh, this got some pigment to it for being such a pastel shade. But yeah, I just want the lid to be the star and not the inner corner. Ooh, that really brightens things up. Oh my goodness. All right, you guys, so here is the look. How pretty is this? I love this. I think this is so pretty. I love the blend, you guys. Oh my goodness. These mattes are a dream. Super, super pretty. Look number 3, success. Now we're gonna, oh, I am gonna do 5 looks. Tomorrow is gonna be another look on each eye, so we can really use every single shade in this palette. All right, time for looks 4 and 5, and I'm gonna do a purple and a blue look. So I'm gonna go in with Antonio, and this is the one I had on the lower lash line, that deep sort of eggplanty gray purple shade. And we're just doing the same method. I find in doing these videos and doing several looks for you guys, just doing the same, you know, design is the easiest way, instead of trying to switch it up and be like, oh, this time I'm gonna do crease, then outer. I'm just gonna do the same outer lid, inner lid, joined together. That keeps the videos not quite as long, because I know me doing multiple looks is such a catch-22. It's like people say they appreciate it, you know, because a palette this size with 25 shades, to just do 1 or 2 looks and try to say, you guys should get it, just doesn't sit right with me and with a lot of you. But then a lot of times people don't want to watch long videos either, so it's kind of confusing sometimes of what the viewers really want to see. So I'm giving you guys 5 looks, dang it, because that's just what I do. Okay, next I'm going in with Paulina, the lightest purple lavender shade. Oh, that's so pretty. Man, these light pastellies have so much pigment to them. And of course they're still light because they are pastels and they're light in nature, but I'm telling you, I've definitely struggled before with other palettes and shades like this of it just not showing up or looking really chalky. These are some of the best pastel type of shades I've used, truly. Those are really, that would be so pretty just blended together, but I just realized I do want to try to use every shade. So I'm going to go in with the corally pink shade right here. I'm not sure what that says, what the name is, but we're going to use that to blend the 2 of these together and see what transpires here, because I have this sort of mapped out today in the shades I was going to use, trying to do predominantly purple and then predominantly blue, but then there were going to be 2 shades unused, and I am determined to use all 25 shades. But yeah, those blend together pretty nicely. Yeah, I like that actually. It's giving Twilight, is her name Twilight? My Little Pony. Yeah, it's giving Twilight, but I like it. Okay, you guys, I'm such a dum-dum. I just realized I could have used La Katrina. the more vibrant purple, but I kind of like that pink in there. So I'm going to use La Katrina as my lower lash line. I completely missed this purple, and that would have just made more of a monochromatic gradient up top, but this is kind of fun too. This is a pretty purple. This is more of a purple, true purple shade. Actually, you know what? That works out. I like it. I like it down here. And what I think I'm gonna do then is just kind of run it up here. Extend that out a little and blend it into the deepest shade. Okay, love it. Now I'm gonna take Galacas, I think that's what that says, which is this purpley, this one's actually kind of a purpley magenta shimmer, not true purple, but it ties in really well using that pink shade blended up here. I like it. That's pretty. Okay, and for inner corner, I'm gonna go back in with Ofrenda. This is definitely one of my favorite shades in here. It is just, it's so pretty on the lid. It's a perfect inner corner pop. It looks so pretty. Okay, I1 is done. Love it. All right, let's move on to, oh, actually, I'm gonna add a lower lash line at the end because or liner. I keep forgetting to do that. So I'm gonna add a liner and just kind of redo my mascara on the bottom lashes. So at the very end, I'll show you guys. Ooh, we got some reflections. Okay, let's go in with blues now. So deepest blue, I'm gonna go in with Agua, top right. Yes, across the street, someone's getting their roof done. If you guys have heard any of that banging, I've just been moving along as if it's not happening. It's so annoying, of course. I always want the world, is so entitled, but I'm like, world, can you please stop? I'm filming a video, thank you. But anyway, it never fails though. It never fails. Someone mows their lawn, someone's getting their roof done. My kids are actually home right now and I'm shocked. It's as quiet as it is. Okay, so this blue is kind of a really deep royal blue. Pretty true in tone to traditional blue, just deeper. Kind of like this shade here. Okay, next I'm going in with Celebration. Oh no, that just says celebration. It doesn't say celebration. Celebration. And pop that right here. This is a periwinkle that I have a feeling, oh, that's pretty true periwinkle. I thought maybe it was slightly blurply, where if you have it laid next to a purple, it might lean more purple, but this is pretty dead on periwinkle blue. Really love those tones together. What I'm finding is the light tones that are in the same color family juxtaposed with the deeper tone of that same color are so beautiful together, like the bright green and the darker green, this lighter blue, the purple, they really go together nicely. Okay, Rio is next, this blue here. And that's what I'm going to use to blend these two together. This is just a little bit more of a vibrant, these are two pretty cool tone blues that I laid down first, and this one's a little bit, ever so slightly warmer, just more vibrant blue, but they do blend together well. Okay, for lower lash line, I think I'm gonna go in with the mid-tone, that Rio again. And Yeah, just since this lower lash line, not that they have to, I mean, they're two different eye looks. They don't have to complement that well, but because I didn't go really dark over here, I'm just gonna do the same with this mid-tone, but I'm just gonna go that far with it. And then I'm gonna actually go in with Wind. This is the very last one that I have not used yet. So I will have officially used every shade. Now, some to more degrees than others, like this is just a little bitty part, but at least I can say I used every shade. That's pretty, just a really pretty turquoise. And truly, even doing 5 looks, I'm like, this doesn't even, this is the tip of the iceberg of how many combinations you could do with this palette. I just lied. I haven't used this shimmer yet. Unity, the last, this is officially the last. So, okay, ooh, I love it. That is pretty. Now this one is more of a blurple shift. So it is a purple, blue. It would have been pretty on this look too. Love it. Yeah, definitely has a, maybe even a pink. This may have a purple, pink, and blue shift to it. Wow, that's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I don't think you guys are gonna pick it. I look ridiculous when I do this, but I wish I could show it off better. It has a gorgeous shift to it that I don't think I'm doing justice. Okay, inner corner for this eye, we're gonna go in with Illumination. That was the very first kind of flaky one that we did in the first look. Okay, finger's the way to go because I used a brush for this for the inner corner in the first look, and it was kind of hard to pick up with the brush. I think because I don't know, this definitely has more impact on the finger. Unless you want more subtle, then definitely use a brush because this has some bang. Okay guys, this is so pretty. I love it. Adding that liner under there just really made the looks so pretty. I'm so impressed, you guys. I could keep going on with this palette. I could keep creating so many different looks. I'm really surprised. I will be honest. When I first opened this, because I wanted to give like my first impression after I used it and got like my final impression. But when I first opened it, I thought, oh my gosh, there's just an array and assortment. I'm not sure how cohesive it will be. I think it's really easy actually to create looks from this. You just have to dive in. And the way, I'm telling you, the way that these mattes blend with each other makes it even easier. So if you're intimidated by this, just trust in the formula and just trust in the process and dig right in. I'm really impressed. To be honest, I think this is Gourmande Girls just one of their best. And I mean, and I'm talking like Spooked, Haunted, Nightshade. I love those, but there's just something about this one. I really, really, really love my looks. I think it's their best mattes palette that they've done. I'll say that for sure. So really, really impressed. I think you guys should give this palette a chance, especially, I mean, if you love color, I think you should absolutely grab this palette. I know some more talented than me artistically are going to create some awesome looks based off of Calavera. Love the theming. I think they did a great job. You guys remember I do have a code if you want to pick this up. And thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, have fun shopping, budget shopping. Bye.